Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to a pretty unfortunate episode of Dark Souls 3, the Ultimate Pyromancer Guide. Yesterday, I recorded a half an hour episode of me fighting the Twin Princes and Osiris the Consumed King, and for the first time ever, my capture card decided to drop frames. It's so annoying. If you don't do any recording, drop frames are pretty much the worst thing that could happen to you because it basically screws everything up, especially the audio. I mean, there are entire chunks of that video that I recorded yesterday missing, like 2 or 3 second chunks. Now, I lowered the audio quite a bit, but you can probably hear if you listen how like the audio is a good 4 or 5 seconds out of sync, and that's because of the dropped frames. Now, you probably know if you watched my previous episodes that I currently am just using my laptop to record because I'm moving and my desktop is not available. And I don't know, I've never had a problem recording with my laptop before. It never dropped frames or anything except now. The thing that sucks about this is that it's making me really nervous to record. Because obviously this is Dark Souls. Like, once you do something, there is no going back. You can't just like reload the previous save. So I'm kind of worried about me potentially recording another episode and having frames drop again, because that would really, really suck. So I came up with a plan. Well, first of all, I did manage to salvage this fight. At first, I tried editing and maybe getting my live commentary to sync up, and it just didn't work. I spent like an hour editing. Sorry about that. And then I just decided to salvage the Osiris fight and this fight because they were pretty good. Yeah. Other than that, again, it's kind of making me nervous to record. So what I think I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm probably gonna record an episode of MKX this afternoon. The thing is, MKX is like a good game to test things out because, I mean, if I lose the footage, it's not the end of the world. Maybe you just missed like a couple of good fights, but that's about it. And I don't have to worry about actually losing like a whole 30-minute episode. And it was a good episode too, that's the thing. That's what really sucks about it. But yeah, what can you do? That's the thing about not having your standard setup. It's kind of really annoying. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta deal with it. It's only for like, what, like a week and a half? I'm moving back not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. And my stuff, because my stuff is being shipped by a container, it's gonna arrive on the 20th, and then it has to go through customs as well and all that shit. So it's probably gonna take like, I'll probably have my setup by like the 22nd or something, back to normal, which will be really good. But until then, I'll try working with this, but again, I'm kind of hesitant now. I'll try MK and we'll see what happens. So, besides that point, Twin Princes, done. I got quite a few souls for killing them. Oh yeah, and not before, but during the episode, there was a point where I went back to Firelink Shrine as well, because I had a shit ton of consumables, because I was convinced throughout the fight that I was under-leveled, which I really wasn't. I just didn't have the right setup. As you saw, I switched to more of a melee setup for this fight because I just couldn't make the spells work. But anyways, I used up my consumables and raised my vigor up. And I also used the souls from the Twin Princes fight to get my vigor basically to 30. Anyways, now that we're at Osiris, I used melee for phase 1 because, well, you know, phase 1 is kind of easy. So what's the point of wasting your spells, you know? I went back to my spell setup, by the way, because this guy actually takes quite a good chunk of damage. And the spells are actually easier to get off in this fight. The problem is that the Twin Princes are way too aggressive. But this guy, you can get chances, even though he's really aggressive as well. Even though there were quite a few times through this fight where I did miss with my Bet of Chaos. This guy, I didn't notice until I started using my spells really heavily against him, but he has kind of a strange hitbox. It's actually a lot smaller than you would think. And sometimes spells just go straight through him. And that's really annoying, you know, because it's just wasted FP, isn't it? But that's besides the point. I equipped the Fire Clutch Ring as well, which people have suggested. People have actually told me that the Fire Clutch Ring is only nerfed for PvP, not for PvE. And it actually made a significant difference in terms of the damage I was dealing. I think I was dealing like 560 or 570 before, and this time I did 600 damage, and that's actually a fair bit of difference, you know. Other than that, this fight, you just gotta survive. Some of his attacks deal a shit ton of damage, and you just gotta hope that it doesn't kill you. And they're actually, sometimes they're kind of wonky to dodge because this guy also has a weird hurt box. He really reminds me of Ava from Dark Souls 2 DLC, in that he kind of has a weird hitbox, but that's besides the point. He's dead. And that's all that counts. I don't even think I went back to Firelink Shrine here. I think I just hit the... what you call it? I forgot the name again. Untended Graves. That's the second time I forgot. Yeah, Untended Graves. Anyways. Oh yeah, here I was talking about the arena for this fight, which... I think this is a good fight. I like this fight, but the arena is kind of weird. They put a bunch of rubble throughout it, and it actually can hinder you, you know. Sometimes even Osiris gets caught up on the rubble, and sometimes you can as well, which makes it difficult to dodge. I don't know. I like the boss, but I wish the arena was better. Anyways, here I'm just picking up the gesture, you know. Going to Archdragon Peak. I have not forgotten. And yeah, I think we're gonna start wrapping this episode up here. There isn't much left. I basically just hit the Untended Graves. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Dark Souls 3, despite the shittiness. Believe me, I'm more angry about this than probably anyone else. Hopefully, I'm just hoping it doesn't happen again. But MK will test it out and see if everything works. So there might be an episode of MK coming up this afternoon. Honestly, we'll just see. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed despite the circumstances, and I'll see all of you next time. Goodbye.